Okay, so you want to install your own radon mitigation system. We're going to go over the necessary steps to get you to that final safe level of radon in your house if you're having issues. One thing that I want to hit on is I recommend getting a professional to come out and do it for you. There's a lot of steps that aren't very safe. This is an instructional video on how to do a DIY, do-it-yourself radon mitigation system installation. Okay, so if you're ready to install your own radon mitigation system with the safety precautions in place and the education that you have in your brain, let's get started. And so right now we're drilling the hole through the exterior wall. And so we're putting a guiding hole through on this side, and then I'm going on the outside and drilling the 4.5-inch diameter hole that we need for the pipe to go through. And then we have the materials over here. We rented that from Home Depot. Basically, what we're going to use is that tool to then drill a hole through the ground and kind of connect the underground drainage system that is the French drain. And so right now, we're going to drill a hole in the side of the house so the pipe can go through. You can see that the hole was started. That's going to be our guide hole. I just had to remove the insulation and stuff. And so that's our guide hole. I poked through, and then we're going to go on the outside and then drill the bigger hole through the wall. We're going to take that machine, punch a hole in the ground, and you got to do it probably about like a foot or so off of the wall, because underneath these walls is a footer, and so they pour that and then they build on top of it, and that footer comes out sometimes about 12 inches. And then it goes to the slate drain or the French drain, and then that goes to the sump pit. So our goal is to drill through this, connect and clear out the material between the pipe underground and the pipe that's going to come up right here, connect that, and then seal off everything so you have a good underground enclosed area that we're pulling the air from. We don't want to pull any of the air from this basement space. We want it to be sealed. We don't want any conditioned air going through the pipe, because that leads to
A bad radon installation may not get rid of your radon problem, and it might bring more issues along with it. 1. The radon might still be present. 2. You might cause your home to become negatively pressurized. This results in bringing in unconditioned air through your roof and into your home. It can also penetrate through windows or any cracks that you may have in your home. 3. You might have created the perfect storm. Instead of ridding your home of radon, you might be sucking radon into your home. This is called the stack effect, or chimney effect. This is why in the video I seal my French drain that I have around the perimeter of my basement. 4. Some radon specialists believe that drawing air into your home can damage the type of insulation you might have in your attic. 5. A negatively pressurized basement can create a backdraft in the exhaust of any equipment in your home that burns fuels. When this happens, carbon monoxide is pulled back into your home instead of being properly vented to the outside. So if you have a water heater or boiler in your basement that burns oil or gas to heat the air in your home or the water in your pipes, then this is a concern for you. People die from carbon monoxide poisoning. So if you have a radon system installed in your basement and you have equipment in your home that burns fuels, you should invest in a carbon monoxide detector on every floor in your home, just as a little recommendation. So let's recap. An improperly installed radon mitigation system can lead to the same amount of radon being present, higher electric, oil, or gas bills for heating and cooling. More radon is present, i.e. the stack effect. This might lead to damaged attic insulation, and it can lead to carbon monoxide infiltration.
So we don't want that. We want to basically maintain this space, maintain the space underground, keep them separate, and then pump out all the air that's underneath that has all that radon outside and above the roof. All right, so now we're on the side of the house where we're going to have the system come out of the basement and up to the roof. If you look at our style house over here in the backyard, there's an edge that pops out and then it comes up and it pops out again. And so that's a lot of 90-degree angles or 45-degree angles that you have to install. And you want as little bit of turns as possible in your system, and that then increases the efficiency and function of the fan that you install. So if you install it on the side of the house, it's a straight shot up. And so that's another reason. But if you come over here, you can see that this is where the pilot hole came out, or that starter hole that was on the inside of the basement that we were talking about earlier. So now what I'm going to do is I purchased this guy. We'll go over pricing and everything like that. This is 4.5 inches. And I'm going to use it to then drill that hole through, and that will then be where the pipe comes through the wall. So yeah, that's it. Now we'll start drilling. Oh, and you need hearing protection. This is aluminum siding, and so we'll see how it goes. If it's too loud for you, then just let me know. It's like kind of loud. You want to stand over there? So that's how it's looking so far. Come on this side. So it looks like we're going through some insulation. You have the aluminum siding inside. It's going to be a little hot. And then we're going to eventually go through the wall, the wood. Hey, guys, I put an extension cord down there too if you need one. You need an extension cord? And we're through! That's how it looks. So now that we have the hole drilled, I cut about a 3-foot section of the 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC to put it through. And it has to be at a decline towards the basement. You want the system to drain basically towards wherever the foundation is, and then you need a way to get that water away. So our way is that sump pit over there connected, it drains into the sump pit, and then it's going to be such a small amount of water, there's no really worry there. We don't have to install a sump pump unless it's needed, unless we see later on that it's a lot of water. I don't think it will be. So the water is draining back into the basement, and so we're going to have it kind of declined towards the basement. The insulation over here that I took down, we're going to reinstall at the end to keep everything insulated. And we're going to make sure it's all sealed and around the piping. If you get close to it, you can see that there's not very much of a gap, which is nice. So it's pretty tight, which is good. And then we'll show you what it looks like from the outside. But the reason why I want to get this done is I want to put kind of all the connections together and see where that down pipe is going to go. And then I'm going to use that to then drill the hole. I'm going to mark it and drill the hole, because right now we're on a 4-hour time crunch. Home Depot allows you to rent the tools for 4 hours or for the day, and they charge you accordingly. And so we have to get this hole punched soon. And we're just going to line it all up. We're not going to seal any of the piping. We're going to do that at the end after we have kind of situate everything, have it all handled and put together. Then we'll seal everything at the end. But this is just so we can make sure it all looks good and functions the way we want. So it's going to come in. It's then going to do a 90, and then it's going to come down to a 45, and then another 45 straight down. And this is so you can be out from the footers, close to the drain that's underneath, and then it goes close to the wall and out. Again, you want as little turns as possible, and this is the best design that we could think of. What you're going to do is going to hold this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this guy right here. I cut this piece so it's longer than this, because what it's going to do, once we drill the hole, it's going to go into the ground, and then I can push it back into the top here, and we can seal it that way. So that's basically the reason why it's longer, and that's how we'll kind of put everything together. We'll take it apart, seal it, and then do that. But right now, we got to make sure the hole is right below it. And it's okay if it's a little off, but you want it to be pretty much plumb. If you have a plumb bob, that would be great. We don't have a plumb bob. If you don't know what a plumb bob is, just look it up and maybe buy one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in front. I'm then going to use a level and a smaller piece. I'm going to set this piece behind it, and that should be kind of right below, just like that. What I want to do is I want to make sure that this is level here, and then this guy's going to come up to meet it, and that looks pretty good. And then you can check this side, just like that. Just to come over just a little bit. Looks a little crooked. You want it to be right on, something like that. And then you can line up the piece right below it. And that should be pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to be as aligned as possible. And then, can you hold this for me as well? And then you can take a step back and kind of eyeball it. See if it looks good. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, so what we did here is we then traced out a circle of the PVC. This is a drill bit, but it's 5 inches in diameter. PVC is 4.5, so we have some wiggle room, which is nice. Just like that. We'll use the machine to drill the hole. So all we did here is set it up. We're going to turn this shop vac on. It's connected to a box. Hopefully this will contain most of the debris and smoke that comes off. You shouldn't breathe in concrete dust. It's not good for you. The state of California says it's, I don't know. So we traced out the hole. We lined it up. We feel confident. We're going to drill. The slab is hopefully about 4 to 6 inches thick. And we're just going to keep going. Once it breaks free and you feel it, then stop drilling and then start taking out the debris. Don't keep pushing down. You want to see what's underneath the slab before you push past it. So that's just a little bit of advice. So we're going to turn on the vac. We'll show it up close. You have your hearing protection, your breathing protection, and your eye protection when you do it. So I'd say we're about halfway.
After we drilled the core through the concrete, I actually looked up a video. I should have done this beforehand. I watched a video of how to properly core a hole through concrete because the way we did it was not correct. So drilling a core through concrete slab. So a lot of the times you can use water to keep the concrete dust from getting into the air, and so let's watch a video here and the proper way to drill through concrete. So they're set up, they have a stand that they're going to use. They're going to actually drill into the ground to set an anchor. So they're going to clean out that hole there. They're going to set the anchor, and then they're going to actually secure the stand to the ground. So this keeps the drill from wobbling. They're going to hook up their water, the machine. They're going to use that hand crank there once they turn the machine on, and they're going to apply pressure downwards to the concrete slab. And so that water then will prevent dust from getting into the air. It's a little messy, but if you have a shot vac, you can then clean up the water afterwards and dispose of it that way. The hard part about this, you can't just dump concrete water outside, and you have to find a way to dispose of it because of the materials that are now in the water. You shouldn't dispose of it all willy-nilly. There's a proper way to do that as well. So the way we did it is not proper. It was also a little unsafe, probably not good on our electrical circuit that drill was on. You saw that the power kept shutting off. So this is the proper way to do it, and I suggest doing it this way, using the drill stand.
Really? So this is what it looks like on the way out. This little bit made it a little complicated to get out of this hole. But if you come over here, this is what it looks like inside. You can see that there's a tarp. So underneath this is rocks, which is a good thing. That improves the efficiency of our fan's suction, because sucking through rocks is a lot easier than sucking through clay. There's a lot more space between the rocks. So we're going to utilize the system that's right underneath here.
and we're gonna install the pipe. If you look here, we wobbled a little bit, and so hopefully we have enough play in our system with the piping where we can make it still function properly. So we got to dig this out now. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the stone out of this hole. We actually were a little bit too close to the wall. You can see that the footer right here, but we still got some room to work with in terms of making a good, digging out a lot of stone underneath this portion over here. So we can still get that amount of space, that volume underneath this slab to suck out. And hopefully, you know, seeing this stone here, it's allows for better airflow underneath. So hopefully the system will still function the way we want it. You can see the connection here. It's pretty straight. It looks pretty good. I'll come around this way. Looks pretty good. And it did shift a little when we were drilling. You can see here. You can see how it wobbled a little bit, but we got a good amount. And I'm gonna secure that. We're gonna put some backing rod in there and then caulk it. And we're also gonna secure it up here. And we're gonna seal everything. And right here, you can see we've started to dig out some of the stone. We're gonna dig some more out. Maybe we'll find the pipe, maybe not. Who knows?
Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if I can see it.
All right. So what we
you can see it.
What we discovered is the pipe. We found the pipe. It's right there. Yeah. Can you put your foot? Oh, maybe you can't. It's like right in this. Oh, there it is. There it is. So we found the pipe and we can connect to it. That's wonderful. All right. So what I'm gonna show you is the pipe. There it is. What does it look like underneath the slab? There it is. There's a good gap underneath. And we're gonna cut a hole in the top. Okay, here's the first attempt at cutting a hole. It's not that big. It's probably like 2 inches tall, 4 inches wide. My goal is to make it a little taller.